Hey folks, in this episode I'm going to be talking about a proper design for a root cellar. Yeah, stay tuned. I'm at a very special root cellar. Yeah, hang around. You're going to find out what it's all about. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. I was invited once again to come over to a friend of mine's house. We're talking about the appropriate designs that Pioneer and our grandparents and great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents would build into root cellars or fruit houses. Now, I'm standing in front of the fruit house or the root cellar that my grandfather built. It's constructed out of cinder block, a cement block. It has a cement floor. It also is constructed with a cement roof. Now, Grandpa had imagined several different features into this. Now, it's halfway sunk into the ground, so it's able to draw in the Earth's temperature to maintain a nice temperature, but it has a couple of other features built in. In the wall, it has a large conduit that comes in from under the ground, again utilizing the ambient temperature of the earth to maintain a steady temperature inside of the root cellar. He also constructed another pipe that goes in and drafts into under the house. This comes up and ducts into the house, so he was able to draw that cool air that was the earth was creating into the root cellar and draw it into the house to help cool the house in the summer months, because down here in the Rogue Valley it gets really hot. Now you can't see it here, but there's a cement roof with a large overhang here. That's to shield it from the summer sun, but the cement roof is dented, it's concaved, so it could hold water. He can put a garden hose up there, is what Grandpa did, fill it with water, and then he has a window right here, so he'd take a great big old huge burlap bag and drape it over here, and then there was a fan inside the window, and to keep it cooler he could draw in the air from out here, the ambient air from out here. It would cool going through that burlap bag, and then the cool air would hit the inside chamber, keeping the inside area at the appropriate temperature. Now these guys, our forefathers, 5 fathers, 10 fathers, how many fathers we have, they were smart. They knew that a pantry, a larder, a root cellar, typically to preserve food for long term, you need to save it from light, keep it dry, and maintain a temperature between 50 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So as you've been watching my episodes, I've been talking about root cellars, fruit rooms, I've been talking about larders and pantries and the temperatures to keep them. This is important. And also try to keep light off your food if you're storing it, because the sunlight does degrade the quality of your food. Another reason why Grandpa put the cement roof on and buried it halfway into the ground is, well, when we were at war, the U.S. was at war with Japan, the Japanese would sail in off the coast and they'd launch balloons up with bombs and incendiary devices, and they'd catch the wind and blow them east, and the bombs would drop over land and start fires. It was noted that there was a big loss of life. There was a Sunday school teacher, her husband, and a bunch of kids went on a picnic over at Bly Mountain in Central Oregon, and a bomb dropped on them, killing them all. and that was a shame. But for that purpose and for that happening, there was a bomb that dropped just a block away from Grandpa and Grandma's house. That's why Grandpa built the fruit cellar or root cellar, and it's also doubles as a bomb shelter. So he put a lot of thought into the design of this building. Now, when I was a kid, I have pictures of me up on the roof up there with my siblings. Then we have pictures of us standing right in front of here. Yep, these pictures right here. But that's what we're gonna show some outdoor living spaces in another episode. So stay tuned for that. But I just wanted to cover the root cellar. This feature right here is the vent. It's a pretty big size vent that vents right through the cement up out of the roof, and it goes up about 2 feet off the level of the roof. It takes all the air from inside the room. As the air heats up, it naturally vents up, so you don't need a fan to move air. And all root cellars should have this. All root cellars should have a vent up high. That vent will vent all the air out. Also, it'll vent gases, because when you have fresh fruits and vegetables stored, root crops stored in your root cellar, they're going to start giving off this gas. Now that gas needs a place to escape, because if the gas condenses in there, your food could spoil a lot quicker than you want it to. No matter if you keep it dark and keep it the temperature at the right angle, or the right temperature, but if you're going to get that gas in there, that's going to cause a problem too. So that's why the vent in the top of or high up on a wall to vent out all the gases and the hot air. The hot air has to have a route to escape. Now, while the hot air is escaping, it's drafting in air from someplace else, and that's why those conduits come in, especially the one coming in from underneath the yard. The Earth's temperature is cooling that pipe down, the air within that pipe, and it drafts it into the chamber, and then that hot air rises, so you have a constant air circulation, so you're ridding the area, you're ridding that space of the heat and also of the gases. So there's a double thing going on there. What's cool also is Grandpa had enough forethought or foresight to be able to think ahead of the game. He put another big conduit or duct right down here on this wall and ducted it into the house, so it goes in and it comes up to the house, and he can have a fan in there, and it draws all that cool air that's coming in, that the earth is cooling down, and drafting it up into the house during the summer months to cool the house. My grandpa was smart. I might add, my grandpa was a carpenter by trade. Yeah, so he did a lot of carpentry. But anyway, this is the fruit cellar. This is the well, I call it the root cellar because that's basically what it is. It's to store food in. So that's a properly designed root cellar. Also, designing a pantry and a larder in the same way. Vent down below in a drawing from the earth, or a cool place like under a house. If you have a cupboard inside your house, you can draft it by putting a screen vent in the floor and a vent up high, so that hot air can escape and draw cool air in through, so you can maintain your pantry or larder temperature between 50 and 70 degrees. That's important, folks. And plus vent out those gases if you're storing like fruit, vegetables, tubers, whatever. Well, I'm your host, Jerry Hansen, at my grandparents' old estate down here in the Rogue Valley. Please stay tuned to more videos. You could do that by subscribing and clicking that bell icon. That'll alert you to new videos as I do upload them. Give us a thumbs up, click that share button. Sharing my videos on your social media platforms really helps out the channel. Remember, always be safe and always be kind. We'll see you guys in my next adventure. Bye-bye.